Hello, this is Mr. Ambrosino, ready to read Chapter 11. What should baby dragons eat? Marshmallow was sleeping when I got to the barn. I filled up his water dish and quietly set it near him. What foods would be healthy for a baby dragon? Mom had said that studying normal animals that might be related to the magical creatures had helped her before. Like when she had the winged fox that was sick. She'd read about foxes and birds to figure out what to do. I ran to the bookshelf. My eyes quickly scanned the books. Bingo! I grabbed Care and Feeding of Reptiles from the second shelf. The chapter on reptile diets had just what I needed. Your pet reptile is either a carnivore, an omnivore, or an herbivore, and should be fed accordingly. If your reptile is a carnivore, offer a source of meat. Some carnivorous reptiles prefer animal meat, such as mice or fish. Other carnivorous reptiles prefer smaller sources of meat, such as earthworms or crickets. If your reptile is an herbivore, offer a plant source, such as leafy greens or vegetables. If your reptile is an omnivore, it will eat some meat foods and some plant foods. There was no time to waste. I needed to figure out whether Marshmallow was a carnivore, an herbivore, or both, an omnivore. As I ran to the house for supplies, I pushed down my worries. I had to believe that this experiment would help. Hang on, baby dragon. Get ready for Chapter 12.
Hi, this is Mrs. Zaranin, and I'm so excited to be reading from Zoe and Sassafras, and I will be reading Chapter 12, Carnivore, Omnivore. I darted around the kitchen. I needed some kind of animal meat. I opened the fridge. Yes! I'd forgotten that Dad had gone fishing with his friends a few days before. He always saves a few of the smallest fish as treats for Sassafras. I grabbed 2 fish. Hey, Sassafras, can you share one of these with Marshmallow? Sassafras stared at both fish and meowed loudly. He grabbed one, dropped it in his food bowl, and took a bite. And there's Sassafras. That left me with 1 fish. I figured that counted as permission to share it with the baby dragon. I didn't wait to see if Sassafras would change his mind. I quickly gathered the other things I needed for the experiment and went straight to the barn with Sassafras at my heels. If Marshmallow ate either the fish or the worms, but ignored the plants, he was probably a carnivore. If he ate just the plants, he was probably an herbivore. And if he ate both meat and plants, he was probably an omnivore. I knew I should be writing all of this in my journal, but it would have to wait until later. Little Marshmallow needed me to be quick. He was still lying there, slumped on the ground and barely awake. I didn't think he'd make it over to the plates, so I put them all right in front of him. Sassafras meowed and stared at the fish longingly. I picked him up and petted him. I gave my nervous hand something to do. I waited. Nothing happened. Little Marshmallow was too weak. I snuggled Sassafras and tried to think, what could I do? Maybe I should put the food right up to his mouth. I dangled some worms in front of him and wiggled them. Want a little taste? Marshmallow took a lick and then laid his head back down. I tried the same thing with each of the other foods. He gave them all 1 lick, but he didn't eat any of them. I sat on the ground and put my head in my hands. I couldn't even watch anymore. Then I heard a sound. I looked up to see Marshmallow crawling all over to the fish. He swallowed the whole thing in 1 gulp. Then he tucked his tail under his head and closed his eyes and went to sleep. I crossed my fingers and toes that the fish and the nap would do the trick. It was breaking my heart to see little Marshmallow so sick. Sassafras bumped my chin with his head and purred. He could tell that I was super worried about Marshmallow. I decided to read through the rest of the reptile book, just in case there was something I'd missed. Sassafras curled up in my lap like a warm, rumbling blanket as I read. Can't wait to see what happens in Chapter 13. Bye!